Jennifer Lawrence producing and starring in a new film about a soldier struggling to piece their life back together. Yep, I'm definitely checking this one out. Folks, let's jump into my review of the new film, Causeway. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. Today we're going to be reviewing the film Causeway, which made its world premiere at Toronto International Film Festival and now coming to Apple TV Plus November 4th. Yeah, so Jennifer Lawrence, she's producing this film. She also stars in it alongside of Tyree Henry, my man Paperboy, and that alone right there is like, okay, I'll totally check this out. But the film is about a soldier struggling to adjust her life after returning home to New Orleans. And like, that's what the synopsis say, but to kind of give you a little bit more detail in that is that this was a soldier who had to go to rehab because, you know, she was hit by IUD, and now there's this a lot kind of going over her, which sends her back home to New Orleans. And going back to New Orleans also opens up another can of trauma. She doesn't have the best working relationship with her mother. She obviously left New Orleans for some reason, which is why she went to the service, and coming back is like stepping back into that mud that she never wanted to come back to. So now she's doing whatever she can to get back to work. So there's trauma in both ends here. There's obviously a little bit of the PTSD from what happened to her. And then there's obviously the trauma from her upbringing and just being back into New Orleans and that mindset. You know, sometimes it could be a level of complacency of just being like, I'm back here and I left here because I wanted better. But now that I'm back here, I feel like I haven't gained anything. And we see that all kind of displayed here. And yeah, she was injured in Afghanistan. And her mother got a call from the doctor in Germany and said she had been hurt. She was listed into the Army Corps of Engineers, and like I said, it took a bomb and it was just bad. But you know, it was a lot of rebuilding, and this was not just rebuilding physically, but mentally in every department. And so that's why I was digging Jennifer Lawrence's performance here, because I don't feel like the movie gives you a lot, but it does tell a strong message. I know for a fact somebody's going to connect with this really personally and deep, because it is exploring a lot of things that if this sounds like something you have been through, whether you're a vet or if you're just somebody who just have to really break themselves completely down to build themselves back up, you're gonna find some patterns in what she's dealing with and say like, yeah, I can relate, I understand that struggle. And I think that Jennifer Lawrence really takes us on this ride of some almost like a person who's just existing but doing whatever she can to get back to work. And sometimes that means that she's not going to face the hard things that she needs to face, you know. And again, this isn't just a physical rehabilitation here, but this is also a mental rehabilitation. She has to convince the doctor that, you know, to sign off that she's good to go, and you're not going to fool him. You're only fooling yourself. And that's part of the journey here. Her kind of fooling herself in terms of just not, you know, really being honest about what's going on with her. She plays this character Lindsay, and then Tyree Henry, who plays James. Now, her car breaks down and she encounters James, who is a mechanic who really is fond of her, and it doesn't instantly come off romantic. It just really seems like a person who's just trying to help another person. But in fact, he also has his own can of trauma and things that he's working through. So they kind of need each other one way or another, because at the end of it, the very core of this is that they're two people that are lonely that actually together, they're starting to find a little bit of purpose in life, and they're going to test each other. And they do have some very interesting scenes together. And again, other relatable conversations that folks, you know, can totally, you know, say like, yeah, that I definitely been in that situation before. Her mother's played by Linda Edmond, the mother Gloria here, and you know, she's the mother that just wants the best for her daughter, but actually again, there's just a work in progress in terms of their relationship, and that does not always come easy for Lindsay on that note. So, you know, she in New Orleans, she wants to clean pools. That, I guess, connects her a little bit to the work that she did in the military. You know, her mom wants her to get an office job. She's not for it. You know, she doesn't want to. She don't want to feel like she's going to be permanent. She's obviously trying to get something temporary so that she can get out as fast as she can. And that's another little thing. And with her going through this rehabilitation process, as she describes them as pain and crazy pills, and she's never been one to be medicated, so her, you know, happen to take these pills is also a challenge for her, and a physical challenge and a mental challenge as well too. Again, this is a character that is very complex, that, you know, really truly has to be broken down in order to be built back up, but at the same time kind of being honest about the things that she needs to confront. And, you know, when you have somebody like James that's sort of trying to hold her accountable because her mom won't and anybody else around her won't, this is where things start to get really interesting. And as I said, James also has his own issues as well, and I think she kind of tests him a little bit too, so there's that. But yeah, I thought that Jennifer Lawrence performance was good. I always enjoy Brian Tyree Henry. As many characters as I've seen him play, I never see the same character. I think he does a fantastic job in embracing the character and then going. And it's never a sense of like characters blending to me. Like, again, I call him Paperboy all the time, but he's never been Paperboy in anything outside of Atlanta, you know? And I think, again, this is another case of saying, okay, looks like Brian Tyree Henry. Who is he going to be? Whatever the character is. He does a fantastic job always doing such. And other than that, you know, again, the film doesn't have a lot of meat in terms of just like the substance of the film, or the plot of the film, but the substance is really what you're here for. It's understanding that these characters, both James and Lindsay, and even Lindsay and her mother's relationship, are things that folks may have endured in their life, and being able to look at a character that kind of reflects who you are and kind of relate is always good. You know, this is why we watch movies and films. It's to either be entertained or to learn or to educate. And I think this is a case of maybe allowing folks to see somebody that resembles something that they're going through and gives them guidance on where they need to go forward. Because Lindsay has a plan, but I can tell you by the end of the film, it's not what she thought it was going to be. And that's what's really interesting about the story. It's just seeing the arc of this character really transform from the beginning to the end. There's really no arc in terms of the story. It's really about the sort of just this rehabilitation and can almost even say this liberation of this character throughout this film, possibly. But yes, it's definitely very character driven, actor based, and that alone is, you know, is worth a watch. Our two leads definitely puts on a performance here. So yep, check out Causeway, coming to Apple TV Plus November 4th, folks. Jump in the comments, let me know your thoughts about it, and as always, stay tuned for more reviews very soon.